All right. Yeah. Can you please state your name?
My name is Aaron Michael Parker.
All right. What do you do? Like for a living?
I'm sorry?
For a living. Yeah, comic book, whatever.
I am a writer and assistant editor for Rocket Blast Comics.
Sounds cool. I like the name too. It's like Rocket Blast. It's like, oh, rockets blast away. But no, we're gonna blast. It wouldn't be Rocket
I didn't
Blast.
come up with the name. It's not my company. I'm just helping out.
I didn't say anything bad about it. It's a good name. I think me and my friend were just in high school. We were just thinking of names. He was like, okay, I'm gonna make a gaming company. What should I name it? And we came out with so many names. It wasn't funny. We did drawings for everything.
Yeah, I've got the name for mine, but I'm not gonna put that out there yet.
Don't put it out there. Somebody's gonna see this like, oh, that's a great name. No, I'm gonna start a comic book company right now and name it that. They ain't like done. It's like, oh, I can't start it now. That's not cool. All right. Next question. How do you find yourself doing this work?
Actually, it's a funny story. I was doing a research project for Full Sail, the project where you find out what your dream job is and how you get hired for it. I found the posting for Rocket Blast Comics. I submitted 3 scripts, and then 4 months later, I'm writing 4 comic book titles a month, and I'm the assistant editor for the company.
I don't even remember. I don't know if I did that yet. But I know I had we had to write something for
I can't remember what class it was for.
Yeah, me neither.
The overview of visual arts class. That's what it was.
I think they showed us like a few different websites of what we could do, and I did something. It was some Story Shack, and I still didn't get this up to. I'm still trying to this day to get one story up there. They're always like, oh, but the first few stories they said it's not. You didn't really get to our genre, and then afterwards it was just recently they told me we have too many submissions. So I'm like, okay, I just want one story just to be happy with myself.
Try going to fictionarcade.com.
Fictionarcade.com.
You set up an account, a PayPal account, and then they get to read half your story, and if they like it, they'll buy it, and then you get all the money for the story that you said.
Oh, wow.
But it's not just one person, it's whoever comes to the site and buys your story.
That's awesome. Since my story is not really done yet, but it's getting there.
Well, they accept short stories, so
I'll probably make a short story before
really long.
Yeah, my thing is way too long. It's at this point it's probably about 12,000 words right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, they didn't take it on there.
No, I think
25 cents their limit.
Because they said I looked online and looked at how long a book should be, and it was 15,000 words. I was like, how long would that take me to get 15,000 words when you're writing? That's a lot of words if you think about it. Nobody writes a paper that's 15,000 words.
Unless you're doing a dissertation or a thesis.
And you just get angry at your teacher later on. It's like, oh, really? You really made me write a book.
Yep.
I could sell this, but no, I'm giving this to you for free. I feel like I'm paying for this. Matter of fact, I'm paying to give you my work. That's not cool. Do you think that this work will inspire other people, maybe your children, to live out their dreams?
I hope so. I mean, I've always told my girls that they can do anything they put their mind to. This is my dream job. I'm not working for Marvel or DC. I'm not working for the big two, but I'm getting my ideas out there. I have creative control over my characters, and I'm helping to shape the universe. So, yeah, I hope it does inspire other people. I'm not saying I'm Shakespeare or, anybody like that, but maybe it'll help.
Shakespeare. It took way too long for people were like, oh, you like that Shakespeare play? What's Shakespeare play? They're like, oh, that one. 3,000 years later, he's respected. It was like, oh, I have to wait that long, 3,000 years. I'm gonna be dead by then. That's not cool.
No.
I think it is good to get to like Marvel and DC, but it's not like the films where if you're an actor, you're probably cast in every role, because we all see different artists just go from different type of stories.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what happened? He's not doing Iron Man anymore. No, we put him to X-Men. Why? We just felt like it. Like, really? Nobody wants to like.
I have creative control over my characters, and since I'm the assistant editor, I also have creative control over most of the universe. So I'm trying to make everything streamlined so that the entire universe flows together.
And the same thing I'm doing, but I can't really, because my universe really isn't that big. It's not really like it's all set in the town, but the whole story is just based on the whole world, which is kind of hard to do. Because I have a feeling I'm gonna probably get feedback whenever I do publish a book, and people are like, "What happened to the rest of the world?" The same thing that's happening here is the same thing that's happening to the rest of the world. It might be different circumstances, because we never know how somebody's gonna react in a different part of the world. But
right now, Rocket Blast has anywhere from 12 to 15 monthly titles, so it's not as bad as it is for Marvel or DC. We're not that big.
yeah, I don't think it's because you gotta release on different days. You gotta make sure something comes out. If something doesn't come out right on time, people are gonna be mad because they've been doing this. They have like different titles, but they're gonna still want like 2 or 3 titles from your company. If you don't get it on time, people are gonna be mad at Marvel. And that could be a whole game changer, because Marvel and DC are this feuding thing that if any wrong mistake just tips the bar, somebody's going to transfer either direction, because most people are petty like that. They don't really.
Yeah, they are. Nerds always have to be right.
Exactly. Talking
I
about.
didn't want the assistant editor job, but with the way everything was going, our publisher, he's a great guy, but he's young. You know, I was in the Army for 14 years. I know how to manage people. I've been reading comics since I was 3 years old. So I know how it should look, and that's why I'm trying to make sure all the books might line up. So if one character appears in another title for a month, I want it to match up and that character act like he would act in his original title.
Yeah, I think I've been reading books for as long as that. I was the dude in the back room, reading by myself, not really talking to people, just reading because I loved reading. And that's the thing, I don't read that much anymore because I don't have the books around me that I really want to read. Like I have right now, I was reading in the past this. I can't say the author because he's a big author, but there was a young adult's book, and I've been reading on a bigger level for the longest time. That I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, I read this in the last book. I read most of the storyline in the last book. I think he's just cheating people off by just telling off the storyline in the last book just to remind people, which is kind of the biggest cheat you could do as an author.
Sometimes authors do that because, if you got a series that's 4 or 5 different books, you sometimes need to remind people what happened before.
I read the whole Harry Potter series. I needed no reminders. I read that back to back. I was like, okay, this happened. I don't remember it now because that was a long time ago, but I was like, okay, this is a new story. I'm happy that all of this happened. Because it's just a whole different story each time. And it's just, I like the books more than I like the movies. I'm not going to lie. I like the movies, but I like the books more than I like the movies. There's some stuff in the books that's not in the movies.
Yeah, I'm reading and watching the Game of Thrones again, and I noticed those small things that they leave out, or they
it doesn't bode well when you read a book first before you watch a movie, because you're like, wait, that wasn't there.
No,
it doesn't happen.
No, I agree.
But the worst thing is if you watch a movie and you read the book.
Yeah,
and you're just more disappointed in the movie. Really, that wasn't. No, I shouldn't have watched that movie. I should have just read the book and just left it alone.
Yeah.
Like, I heard the Twilight books were good, but I never read the books or watched the movies. I'm probably not going to start anytime
I
soon.
watched the first 30 minutes of the first movie, and I was just like, nope, I'm done. I grew up in the 80s. When I was growing up, vampires didn't sparkle, and they weren't bulletproof. I'm sorry, just no.
You watched, I watched the Dracula series a while ago. Probably recently. Did you watch that? It wasn't that bad.
I watched the first two. I don't think I saw the third one.
But the season or just episodes? First 2 episodes?
Oh, wait, you're talking about a TV show?
Yeah, TV show.
What TV show is that?
It's called Dracula.
No, I have not seen that.
It's weird. Like, the thing is, it's just all about this man, well, Dracula, like Vlad the Impaler. And you just see the pain he was. Like, he wants to just destroy this people who put this pain on him because they killed his wife. And they made him to the monster he was, but they also didn't like the monster he was because he kept killing people. But they turned him into this monster. And he wants nothing more to be more human-like and walk in the day. But just this monster doesn't really want him to do that. I mean, you should see all the pain, all what he goes through the whole show.
They're making a new Dracula movie right now. I think it comes out. It's either the end of this year or the beginning of next year. I can't remember which. I just saw the previews of it.
I think it's still on Hulu. I don't know. I watched it on Hulu.
I got Netflix.
Hulu's free, dude. On your computer?
I like Hulu.
Because there's commercials sometimes. Yeah, it's commercials. Yeah, people like the commercials. But I'm like, okay, I could watch this anytime. It's free. I don't really feel right about going to sharing sites. It's kind of irks me in my heart now that I'm in this study. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't do the free stuff. I do Netflix. I don't even have cable.
Yeah, most people don't have cable nowadays. Because most people are carrying around laptops and stuff, and we don't really have cable. If anything, we'll probably get a cable service, but we won't use a cable box at all. We're like, okay, what's the password and the account number so I could go on this website and watch this show. Let's see. Are there any more questions? Assigned questions. That sounds so much painful. What do you see as a role of the visual arts in society today? I wouldn't like to answer that.
I see it as a way to get ideas and information out into the world. I mean, think all the documentaries and TV shows and all this other stuff that's out there now. They either entertain people or they give you information. And without either one, the world would be a really dull place.
Yeah, I think what I learned most in my childhood was Crashbox. You know, it was an old show. It was the worst show, but it was also the most entertaining, and it informed you a lot. There's some stuff I didn't need to know. They had this one part where we all, there was this disgusting guy, and they told us about cleanliness through this disgusting guy. He would have all this bubbles of mucus in his nose, and it would just blow out. And you just see all his disgusting self. He's fat, but he's just the most disgusting person. And it was I don't want to be that person.
Well, I had Beekman's World when I was growing up.
Yeah, because we all have different things when we're growing up. I think Crashbox, I saw it the other, when I was looking, I think when I was in New York and we went into this house, some kid was watching Crashbox. I was like, that's nostalgia. That's nostalgic right there. I could never watch Crashbox now because I'm not going to go on HBO. I'm not. But it just felt so good just to see Crashbox again. Yeah, TV shows mostly teach you more than you see in classrooms because you're bored mostly in classrooms. On the TV, you kind of just see everything, and you're entertained because they make sure to entertain you while they're teaching you. Most teachers want that rubric, and they want to teach you what's on the rubric. They want to just make sure you know it. They want to because they don't want to get in trouble for not teaching you exactly the way the principal wants them to teach them.
Well, yeah, and it's regulated a lot now, so they have to teach certain things.
That's a sad thing, though. Like, they can't teach the way they want to teach because the principal is just... Like, the Board of Ed is just...
Most of the time it's not...
Yeah, it's a Board of Ed. Yeah, they're like, no, we want to keep the old ways some of the times. It's just not cool. Next question. New communications and media technologies make imagery almost instantly available. Do you believe that this is having a positive or negative influence on your field/industry? Provide example.
For me and the comic book industry, the new media technology is a double-edged sword. On the positive side, we hit more readers. You know, we get our work out there more. More people see our stuff. It can be viewed anywhere at any time. On the other side, as a comic book collector, it makes the hardcover books either more expensive or harder to find.
Yes.
So.
Oh my gosh, that hit the heart.
With any new technology, you're always going to have positives and negatives. There's nothing that's going to be purely positive and nothing that's going to be purely negative. No matter how you look at it, all you can say, well, the new 3D TV, those are awesome. You get to see in 3D and, you know, whatever. But right now you still have to wear glasses to see a 3D TV.
Yeah.
They're almost as big as the TVs I had when I was growing up. You know, those big box TVs? You know what I'm talking about? You know, this big? They're almost that big.
I hated them so much.
You're always going to have positive and negative. There's nothing that's going to be perfect, and there's nothing that's going to be wholly horrible.
Like, you try to play games on those old TVs, and you just laugh at yourself. You're like, no, this is not for my game. I bought some comics at Comic-Con. I went to New York Comic-Con. I bought like one year. I bought a Naruto one, and I bought like a Fairy Tail one. Those mangas. Don't trust me. I have a whole boatload of comics in the closet. I'm a comic book collector, but I bought them. I was like, oh, this is a lot of money. But there's a lot of places where you can't buy. Like, there's manga sharing sites, and most people are not gonna, unless it's in your like region where Jump is sold. You're probably gonna go to a manga sharing site because that's the only place you can actually read the manga on time for every week. Because if you don't have any place around you, you're probably just gonna like abandon any type of hope of just finding it and just read it.
My thing is I will wait until the trade paperback comes out. I'll buy that. If I like the story, I'll either buy the actual comic books and the digital copy or the digital copy, because I have a Nook and, you know, I've got all that tech on my computer. So
if I buy a book, I'm probably just gonna buy the hardcover, or I'm not gonna buy the Nook. I can't take the Nook. I love my hardcover books. I'm an old style person like that. I can't do the Nook.
I do too, but like the comic book from Image, Invincible. You know what that is?
Yeah. Is that the one that PlayStation is trying to do right now, or is that the? No, it's probably a different one.
No, it's a comic book.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think it's because I have PlayStation Plus, and they're doing some type of comic right now.
Well,
everybody's gonna see my stuff.
All the individual issues. I have all the trade paperbacks, and I have all the ones that are on digital copy right now that I can get on my Nook. It's not all of them yet, but I'm working on it because I can't take comic books everywhere, and I can't take. Well, I don't take comics anywhere.
Yeah, that's a different one. I know what you're talking about, though. I definitely know what you're talking about.
All my comic books are the individual copies are in, you know, they're plastic cases, put up where there's no sunlight, no heat, no water.
I need more comics.
I can't take trade paperbacks everywhere because some of the content is just, you know, you can't have some of the content that's out there just where any random person can walk by and read it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even let my kids read some of the stuff I write because it's too graphic. So I have it on my Nook when I want to read, you know, out in public and nobody else can see it.
Yeah, on the Marvel site, they have like free comics, and I read it on the Marvel site. So it's not really gonna buy it. Like, I have the one I got from Comic-Con. Hopefully they won't bother me. It's this. It's a Fairy Tail manga. But,
okay.
Yeah. left and right. Yeah, I bought it because I like Fairy Tail. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, but when I was in New York, there's this comic book store. It was a comic book / gaming. And later on, it became the skateboarding, but it was mainly a comic book store. And I was just happy. I looked at the comic, I was like, it came out. And my friend loved Venom. He loved the Venom comics. But he couldn't afford it at a point. And he was like, I can't get the Venom. I really want the Venom.
With the new technology, it's getting more expensive to buy the hardcover books. It's just because digital copies are pushing the price up.
Yeah, I tried to buy a Nightcrawler. It wasn't.
Sell me more copies, so yeah, it's like I said, double-edged sword.
I tried to buy Nightcrawler. It was way too much.
Yeah.
The Nightcrawler, I looked at it because it was it's a regular price comic, but online it's about $20.
Yeah.
Comics are $3 to $2.50. If you're a real comic book person, you went out, bought your own comic books, you know exactly that prices go up for comic books, but you know it's not that much money.
They can change the day after.
Exactly, they change any type of day, and you just look at it really, what the price is, but you still buy it. You still buy it.
Like, what was it, Spider-Man? Was it 501 where President Obama was in it? The day after,
I think I remember.
On sale, $2.25 to $8.25
for that comic.
Yeah.
I looked at it. Nobody bought the comic. It was sitting there. It was sitting there for the longest time in the comic book store. Nobody had bought that comic. I was like, yeah, I understand why nobody bought it.
I bought 2 of them.
2 of them? I could never buy it. I have 2 collector's comics. I don't know what the other one is. I think that's there with my mother's. But I have 2 collector's comics, which I'll never open. One is the white comic book thing. The cover, white comic book cover for the X-Men, and the other one is for the Fantastic Four. I think my friend has a Spider-Man one. I have every color. I have them in my closet. And the thing is, you buy them and you're like, okay. But after a while, you just want to read them. As a comic book fan, you want to read them. But as a collector, you don't want to read them.
That's why I buy the trade paperbacks. I can't see it. Okay. I think I've got that one too.
I was like, this is probably a nice comic, but I'm not gonna read it. I was not gonna read it. I was like, okay, I already have it. I'm not gonna read it. Because I read every comic that I have, but I'm not gonna read that one. You think about it, should I read it? I bought it as a collector's item. The best thing you could do is buy 2. Buy one for you to read, and then buy one as a collector's item. But you're probably never going to sell it because I love comics way too much, so I'm not going to sell it. But the thing but you're still probably not going to read it.
I've got some. I have The Death of Superman. I have 3 of those. 1 that was open, and 2 that are still in the plastic. Never been opened, still sealed by DC. I've got the Spider-Man number 12, which I was told was the very first comic I ever read.
Wow.
And I've still got it, and it's not in mint condition, but it hasn't been touched in about 15 years. So
that's so good. I just looked through my comics and found out I have a Carnage. I don't remember when I bought a Carnage. I probably bought it because my friend didn't have a Carnage. I was like, okay, here, I'm gonna buy one, but it's still mine.
Yeah.
And I think I wanted to start reading it because it says 3 out of 5, which means there's only 5 comics.
Yeah. It's been a while since Marvel Football was out.
Yeah, it was a while. I don't remember when it was because I think I was still I was probably in my sophomore year of high school. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is such a nice comic. Because my friend always bought them, and I read them, and it was just awesome. I have some DC in here. I have Green Lantern? Oh, it was $1. Never mind. It was $1. Because you buy comics, you're like, oh, this is $1 sale. I'm going to get Green Lantern. Okay. We're showing ourselves as nerds right now. Let me get to the next question.
Hey, I know I'm a
Yeah, I'm a nerd too. I can't stop it. It's not my fault. When you have a comic book store right next to your school, you're not gonna say no. Let's see. Who is your favorite visual artist, and or who is your favorite style of visual art? I don't know if I can answer that.
In the comic book industry, I have two that are my favorite visual artists. That would be Jim Lee and Alex Ross. Jim Lee, because you can see the nuances of every character he draws. You don't even need anybody to write dialogue or anything for his books. You see the Psycho and the hero in Batman. You see the farm boy and the hero in Superman. You see the chaos, the Joker, the primal energy of Cheetah. He just brings out the character. For Alex Ross, the reason I say him is because you can see the vulnerabilities of the heroes with the way he draws them. You can tell that, like when he did the Kingdom for DC, or Kingdom Come for DC, you could tell Superman was beat down. It had been years, and he had lost all that stuff. All these people had died, and he was still around. You could just see from the way he was portrayed, just standing there, that he was beat up and depressed, and just all his vulnerabilities, minus the kryptonite.
The sad thing is, the kryptonite is probably the worst type of weakness ever, because everybody has kryptonite somehow. It's like, oh, Lex Luthor, his kryptonite. Like, how did you get kryptonite? How did you get kryptonite right there? They always have kryptonite handy. It's like something they find in the corner. It's just like, okay, you want some kryptonite? $1. Some kryptonite. Just take a bundle. Superman's around the corner.
My favorite form of visual arts is film. Movies, TV, you can just put so much into film that you can't do anywhere else. As a comic book writer, I can write out a scene and have it play out, but if you get it on screen, there's just so much more you can show. You can show, just the way a person stands, the way they talk, how they move their hands in their pockets, scratching behind the ear, you can just add so much with film that you can't add anywhere else.
Because moving, you see a lot of different emotions, and it's kind of crazy.
And
yeah.
we're kind of limited in the comic book industry because, it's not moving. You show a picture and you have dialogue. Then you move to the next panel and it's a picture and dialogue, or just a picture and no dialogue. We're limited in what we can show. And film, they have budget constraints and time constraints, but they can show more.
After like a few years of reading manga, I had this whole my brain conformed to this thing where they would make this I would have my own like type of voice to the dialogue, so that they would be talking. So it was like a moving picture to me, where I'm like the next day I'd be like, did I just watch an anime? It was like, no, I just read the manga. I read the manga. It was like, okay, I'm gonna do a nerd moment right now. I just looked at myself. I found X-Men. I think I bought it at Comic-Con because it's not opened. It doesn't look open. And the artwork just looks awesome. I wish the computer could show it. But the artwork just looks awesome to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you could tell it's old, but you just love the effort that went into the cover.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason I didn't want to open it. Because I looked at the cover, I was like, I'm just going to have this for the cover. I'm not going to open it. Because you always have that spaces in Comic-Con where they have this whole different list. They have this like box with different comics, and it's probably the oldest comics. It's thin, and it was like, and you just look, it's like, oh, that's a beauty right there. I'm not gonna open this. This is just for me. This is just for me as a fan. I'm not gonna open it. I'm not gonna read it. Like if anybody buys it, I'm not gonna sell it to anybody. This is just for me as a fan. You have any comics like that for you?
I have a comic comic that I've only seen the cover of. I've never even held the comic. I got it from my dad.
Oh, that's not
I got it
cool.
from his dad. It's first edition Captain America. From
That should be a hand-me-down. I was like, listen, you got it from your dad.
It was given to me, but I've never even opened the cover. It's in plastic. It's never.
Yeah, I suppose that's what I don't open the cover for it. I just look at it and just marvel at the awesomeness.
I mean, it's not great artwork because it's from the 40s, but I mean, it's first edition Captain America. How many people have that comic book?
You're right. Like, I wouldn't sell it for my life. I really wouldn't. And it's probably not that good of a... Well, I opened this. That was beautiful. Oh, I didn't open this. Oh, I have a second one. But it was just Nightcrawler on copy. I think that's the only reason I bought it. Because I'm a Nightcrawler fan. Because I love when Nightcrawler looks gnarly. The chiseled look. Which is not really Nightcrawler look. But it's just awesome. I'll show you anyway. Probably the light in the way.
Yeah, I see it.
It's awesome. I think he looks more like Beast than he looks of Nightcrawler. It looks more like a Beast comic than it does like a Nightcrawler comic. But you know by the tail.
Yeah. By the face, too.
Yeah, because the eyes are red, like it's gleaming. I couldn't watch First Class because of that. Because I bought one of the big comic books of Nightcrawler, like his origins. So I read all of his origins and I looked at First Class. I was like, there's some stuff in here. That's not right. There's some big stuff in here that's not right. My friends were like, listen, it's just a movie. It's good. I was like, listen, I read the comic book of Nightcrawler's birth. This is not right for me. I can't. I read it. I watched it. But I couldn't do it. Like, I was a comic book fan who knew all the origins. I couldn't do it I couldn't like it as much. I think that went too much into it. Hurts to be a nerd nowadays. It really does when you watch movies by Marvel and you're just like, Marvel, what did you do? You read the comic. You know you read the comic. Like, did you read that? Let's see. How has your knowledge of famous artwork influenced your creative process?
There are a lot of different things that influence my creative process. I wouldn't give priority to one over another. I mean, I can't really think of an artist that's inspired me. I can think of writers that have inspired me, but not necessarily a particular artist, unless you get into artists and writers.
Yeah.
One who does both.
Because artists are the ones like create the dialogue, and the artist just kind of brings it to life. Like, they bring the dialogue bubbles to life, and you're just like, okay, that's awesome. But it's kind of hard when you're just trying to, like, compare them, because, they both did equal amount of work, but you focus more on the artwork than mostly the dialogue. Even though it's great dialogue, you just focus on the artwork because that's right in front of you. That's what making action live for you.
But the writer writes out everything that the artist draws, but we don't get as much. Most of the time, we don't get as much credit as the artist.
Yeah, that's what sucks.
Because
I know exactly how much. Like, I read manga, so I know the writer is great. I look at the writing, I see mistakes, but I get what they're meaning. That, like, my brain formed after a while. Like, somebody can make a complete mistake, but I will know what they're meaning. So I would, like, autocorrect their words so I could just go along, not even try to critique it. But it's just awesome. And you rate it like, oh, okay, this is awesome artwork, but the dialogue is what's making this running. But some people don't, because some people don't focus on it. They focus on the artwork, truly. And they got to focus on all of it together, or you won't get the whole piece.
Exactly. You can't have one without the other. It's just a book.
It's like having a movie without a script. Well, it's silent movies, but with silent movies, you still have some type of script. Because they're still doing some verbalizing. It's just like you can't hear it. Like, even if it's through their body language, it's still like a script. It's still something writing that they want you to get. People just see them, like, moving, and it's like, oh, they move so gracefully. I was like, that's in the script. They wrote that in.
Yep.
Most people don't really know. Most people don't even try to know about, like, film or anything like that. Because somebody asked me, "Oh, how did Paul Walker die?" And he has another movie. I said they do that. They do the movies mostly 6 months to a year or so in advance before you see the promo. Before you see the promo, they're either done with the movie already or they're making sure everything is right.
Yeah, they're doing editing by that point.
Exactly. They're not gonna give out the movie that's not even mostly completed.
No, they're not. They won't make any money that way.
Exactly. It's like, oh yeah, it's coming out. The only movie I saw that with was the Avengers when they did that what was it? I forgot what award show it was, but they showed it. It was like the Avengers. And it was like 2015. I was like, really? You didn't have to put a promo out that. Like, okay, you just made everybody happy, but you just made everybody mad also too by saying 2015. Like, oh, we gotta rate it another year, really, making me mad. It's not cool, dude. It's not cool, Marvel. Pissing me off. As I say, with a bunch of Marvel comics, more than Marvel than DC comics in my lap.
Yeah. I like the independent just as much as I like any of the others.
Yeah, I like Dark Horse. Dark Horse is fun for me. I don't think I have any comics by Dark Horse though. That's a sad thing. Cause I have all these.
Huh? You got Star Wars. You got Dark Horse.
I don't think I have Star Wars either. I have the close. I think no. That's Watchmen. I see DC, Marvel, Fear Itself, Book 1. I don't even read. I didn't think I read that either. Yeah, I just see mostly Marvel. I think that's the thing. Like you buy Marvel or DC because that's what entertains you. But I love Dark Horse. I love it, but I don't think I remember buying a Dark Horse.
I read a lot of Image.
Yeah, Image is awesome. They don't get that much respect, mostly in the fanboy community. But I love Image.
Well, they're still considered an independent company, so.
People need to get up on Image. Like if I had a comic book place near me, I would probably buy another Image comic. I love Image, but mostly I have just Marvel right now, which is not good because it just does. If people like fanboys look at your thing, they just see like, oh, you have Marvel and DC comics. You didn't really move on to different comics. Like no, it's just that these comics were in front of me. These comics were the things like I found joy in because Marvel's right there. I'm not gonna buy a Dark Horse comic, even though I was allowed to read in the store. I'm still probably not gonna buy a Dark Horse comic right now when I'm more of an X-Men fan. But I love Dark Horse and I love to read it. I don't know when I'm gonna buy a Dark Horse and comic, but I'm gonna buy it one day. Like. When I die, they're just gonna look at all of my comics like, should we sell this? I'm like, no, just give it to my grave, because I know you're gonna sell it, put it in my grave with me. Like it can't fit. I don't care. Just spread it along. Just spread it. That's the one thing you really want to take, because you know people are gonna sell it, especially if you got collectibles. It's like, okay, let's sell this. I'm like, no, keep it in the family. Don't sell it. Because people sell things when they have tough times. They sell the things that. It's like, okay, I really don't care much about that, so I'm going to sell it. So,
well, it works.
Yeah, it does work, because you get money for it. You get a lot of money for it, mostly. But if they sell my book 3 or my book 2 of Carnage, we're going to have a fight. Because I have 2 books of them. That is 2 books. I could not find number 1. If you sell it. Yeah, it is. Because the comic book store I had, they sold out, so I was like, I wanted to complete it. I don't think I've read. I have this comic book called Age of X Alpha. I don't really think I read it. It's by Marvel. I see Rogue and everybody, but I don't think I read it. We finished the questions, but we're just having a nerd conversation right now. That's a fun thing, because you see comics and you're like, okay, comic books are awesome. Yeah. It's going to be crazy to edit this, but yeah, okay, it's awesome. I think I bought a Green Hornet just because it was Green Hornet. and it was the time of the movie, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a Green Hornet book. I don't remember reading it. It says Dynamite 2. I don't know who it's produced by because it doesn't really say a name on it.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
So I bought it and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm gonna buy it. Like, you know, a comic book I really wanted to read. It was A versus X.
Yeah, I got that on my Nug.
I have 0. That's all I have. I have 0. I have 0. I have 0.
It wasn't as great as they made it out to me.
I didn't think it was, because they just made it just kind of, okay, we're going to make some money from this. Because people are going to want to read it. People are just going to read it because it's A versus X. You know what we want? We want a Marvel versus DC with actual, like, military-type grading individual fights. Because nobody's going to be like, okay, Marvel won. That's because they made more money off it. Or DC won. They made more money in stocks. The person who makes more money off of it is going to be the person who won. Because you know, it's just going to be a lot of different writers in the room who's going to be debating which of their heroes are going to win. And you're just going to have, like, directors say, no, we're going to have this hero win. And it's like, no, we're going to do actual fighting the day that they see who's the best.
Never happened.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. It's too much work. That's way too much. That's more years on a comic's life than anything. Like, we'd probably be in the 80s or 90s before that. Like, before they're finally done with one book. Like, okay, here's book 1. We finally finished.
We're having that problem now at Rocket Blast. And it's not what you think. It's actually me and another writer. We're arguing that the other person's character would be our characters. So it's hard even within the company itself.
Yeah, because you have these different ideas on how your character will win. But the other person's like, no, my character will win because he's superior in that.
No, what we're saying is, I'm saying that the other guy, his character will win, and he's saying my character will win.
I'm just being too modest at this point. Yeah, just like, no, my character's a little bit. He's too soft to beat your character. No, my character's too soft.
Well, it's been fun, but I have to go take my dog out. I'm staying in a hotel room.
Yeah, I'm looking at the time right now. I'm like, this is a lot of time. I'm gonna be up all night trying to edit this. I'm like, all right, I'm happy to have this great conversation with you.
It was fun.
It was. I didn't really think we were talking about mostly comics, but yeah, you find things about each other. You're into comics, so it's kind of makes sense. All right.
Have a good night, man.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.